Thank you guys so much for tuning in on King Simon Entertainment Company. Another wonderful, great interview today. Thank you for joining us for KS News. This is our platform where we have just a bunch of education awareness and just empowering information that we're giving out to the public. Very challenging information, controversial information, but this is the platform for that. We're grateful for this platform because it's different from our other platforms, which is about humanitarianism and one-on-one star power entertainment. This gives us the platform to talk about all those other great, wonderful things that are happening in our community, as well as empowering you with the information that you need to do just that. And we want to make sure that we thank our sponsors, which is Heart to Heart for You.org, Hill to Hill, and they have donated 100 pair of shoes to give to our subscribers. Make sure you subscribe and follow us on social media. We'll be giving out from the subscribers. Pick the names, and we'll send it out to shoes to our subscribers who's picked from the lottery pick. USC Black Alumni Association, we want to thank Dr. Turner and thank Kathy Shirley for the wonderful work they're doing over there and for partnering with us. Moreland Greenwood Foundation, former NFL player from Miami Dolphins and other teams, thank you so much for your support. We appreciate you. And anyone else who's interested in sponsoring and partnering with us, KingSolomonEntertainment.tv. That's KingSolomonEntertainment.tv. Please add yourself to our email list and reach out to us, and we'll make that happen. We also want to, if you want to support us directly as we grow and this continues to grow and do wonderful things here, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, and Zelle. We are King Simon Entertainment Company on all platforms. KS News is our platform that we bring you great information, great topics to talk about. Today we have a wonderful organization talking about finance, wonderful businessman, brilliant person. We're going to bring them in a second. We want to make sure you guys subscribe and like and share this video. And we're going to bring in our guests right now. So hold on one second. All right. So today we're talking about finance, and we have a wonderful guest today, and he's going to come in, and we're going to start the interview. Thank you guys so much for your support. And he's here. Thank you guys so much. All right, we're here with Dr. Marlon Hester, Pioneer Credit, and
we made it.
Platform. We talk about all those issues and topics that is in our community that is changing and controversial and need to be discussed and need to have our perspective added on to it. And so today we're talking about finance in the area of credit and credit repair. And we want to allow Dr. Hester to introduce himself, and we're going to start the interview.
Well, first of all, thank you so much, man, for having me.
Thank you.
So honored to be here. It's a privilege to be able to share on this platform with you and your followers and all of those who are part of your network. I'm Marlon D. Hester Sr. I'm also a senior leader. I'm a senior pastor in Chicago, but I'm also an entrepreneur. And there's a couple of things that I do outside of ministry. I also have my own business, my own brand, the I Pioneer Inc. brand, where we believe in raising up and training up individuals who are pioneers, who see things before it actually happens, right? People who believe in producing things for a generation that hasn't come yet. And one of our examples we have is Noah. Noah built the ark for a time that never existed. It hadn't even rained yet. They never seen rain come from the sky, but yet this guy's building this big boat. And I just believe, Brother Solomon, that there are so many people out there with a Noah's technology on the inside of them, just not using it, working somebody's job, punching somebody's clock. And actually the Noah inside of them is struggling, which is that pioneer, because they're limiting themselves to somebody else's clock and somebody else's vision.
Well, and that's so interesting because I was reading some of your background. It was like you're apostle, you're a pastor, the Greater Works Ministry International. I think I've seen them on TBN before back in the day.
Yeah.
And, and I'm from Chicago South Side, so that's
Okay.
I just found that out. So that's another thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it's very interesting because to bring purpose and to bring everything who we are, our whole being. And I know that lines up with scripture. You say serving with all your might, strength, your
That's
mind,
right.
everything. And so to bring that full circle into business and let that be at the helm, and to include him in our business. And then that's the difference. A lot of people don't include him in business and in our life, day-to-day type of thing, the practical side of faith and belief. And it's wonderful to hear someone who's doing that and have articulation from knowledge and from knowing,
Yeah,
because that's what faith is. Faith is what you know. Faith is
that's right.
what you experience. What you obtain is something you can definitely grab to because you experience yourself. And I had read a little bit about your testimony as far as the healing and everything. So you bring all that element to business. And
That's
so,
right.
so tell us a little bit how that has been effective.
Well, being able to actually experience, God and experience the walk of faith, it has actually helped me to be extremely radical with my decisions. I'm more of a risk taker. I listen to a lot of inspirational individuals like Denzel Washington, Eric Thomas, Bishop Jakes, people who leap, Steve Harvey. These are individuals who are sharing that story that, hey, when I decided to walk by faith, my life took off. When we were living by limitations, you're only going to live limitations. You're going to come to a dead end at every level of your life. The only thing that comes from that is a bunch of frustration and unfulfilled destinies, of unfulfilled dreams and unfulfilled visions. Denzel said something so powerful. I was watching a video yesterday. He said, listen, we've been told to always have something to fall back on. He says, I don't want to fall back on nothing. I'd rather fall forward. He says, I'd rather fail and move forward. So one of my experiences and benefits from walking by faith has been able to just put all of my trust in God. And because he told me I can have it, once I put my faith there and once I put the energy and work behind it, he has to make it happen.
Yeah.
He has to keep his promise because he's not a man that he should lie, nor the son of man he has to repent. If he says it, he shall bring it to pass. And he gives us all of these different principles through scripture. I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. He'll never leave me nor forsake me. So a lot of believers, brother, don't even believe this stuff themselves, and this is why they still struggle. Me and a lot of others, I have really come to the place of believing every word that he says, man, and I look forward to him manifesting what he promised me. So I don't have any fear. I'm a fearless individual. And it's funny, I just had a new baby. She actually turned 1. And she seems to have that mentality already. My wife and I was just laughing at her, how she just climbs on stuff. It could be really high, she don't even care, but just fearless. And what I'm being careful of, Solomon, is not to tell her, you can't do that, because that's what we were told even from when we were a child. And believe it or not, what effect did that may have had on some entrepreneur, some pioneer who probably could have took their life and did what they used to do as a child and took risk and did something just extravagant with it. So that's how it has affected me, to not have limitations, time freedom. My income is above average. And now I can see myself helping other people do the same thing.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in to another interview with KS News, where we just touch on everything awareness, education. We're here today with Dr. Marlon Hester, and he's talking about credit. Pioneer Credit's named his company. And so take us in, because I know credit is one of the issues that really plague our community, the African American in particular. But the understanding of credit, what credit is, please walk us into credit and credit repair.
Well, one of the number one issues is that credit wasn't taught in our homes, and then our formal education never taught us about credit. And so a lot of us are coming to the point now where we're just really learning how powerful credit is. People say cash is king, but credit is power. Now, what people don't understand, here are some of the numbers, and I have it right here in front of me. Here are some of the numbers. Listen to this. What people don't understand is that 35% is their payment history. All right. You don't just have a score and, oh, we're going to just help get that score high. 35% is your payment history. So 35 out of 100% of your credit score, 35% of that credit score is how disciplined you are. So number one, the lack of education. Number two, most people are not disciplined with their own money, so they don't know how to use other people's money, which is credit, right? 30% is the amount we owe, okay? 30% is the amount we owe. For instance, if you got a credit card for $15,000, then that company or that person would rather you only use 30% of that comfortably so they can continue to trust you with more money. Although they've given you $15,000, they want to see if you can be disciplined enough to not max it out. So when you keep that under 30%, which would probably be about $4,500, you do that for a month, pay the $4,500 back that month, come right back the next month, do it again, and it continues to grow your credit score. 10% is the credit mix, you know, the type of accounts that you have. You know, what kind of accounts are they? Are they even beneficial enough? Like I tell people to stay away from Macy's, Walmart, and you know, all of these cards you open up.
Favorite stores, right?
Yeah, because now you gotta shop there to keep that credit circulation or the currency of that credit going. Because the moment you stop using it, guess what they do? They'll close that card on you. And now closed account is a negative on your credit report. Then 10% is the new credit inquiries. The accounts you open up when you're going to get that car and you know you don't have good credit and you go down the street thinking something's going to change. They tell you no, and you run up the block to another car lot and you think, okay, maybe they'll give it to me. And then one day you'll have 40-something inquiries because they ran your name with so many different banks at one time. So now that's going to have a heavy duty on you. Then 15%, of course, is the length of credit history that you have. So when you do develop credit, the length is very important. How long have the accounts been open? How long have you been using these credit lines? How many years? And believe it or not, you're not really considered strong in length until about 10 to 15 years. You know, people want to see long-term usage of credit that you've been using when it comes to other people's money. Wow. So that's just one stage of it. Of course, there's a whole lot of other little tricks, you know, like, you know, leaving like $5 the day before it's due, leaving it on there, and then pay the $5 on the day. You kind of can tweak the system a little bit. Learning the Fair Credit Reporting Act, right? If your credit is bad, you can actually dispute the negative items on your credit using the Fair Credit Reporting Act, because that act is passed in 1970, giving all Americans the right to dispute negative items on their credit report, even if they're yours.
And also explain the fact that how one creditor would sell it to another creditor, keeping it going.
Exactly, and that's why it's so important to use that Fair Credit Reporting Act and mention it in those dispute letters. Never dispute online because they'll just ignore it. You want to get a document, you want to sign it, you want to have your proof that it's you, your address, your social, things like that. And when you use the Fair Credit Reporting Act, it restricts them from being able to sell it once they see that they're not going to be successful with continue getting money from you. They'll sell it to another company.
Yeah.
So you got to be able to use the right terminology, which is why it's just like this. If I love my cars, I love my truck, I love my new cars, but I don't like washing them. I know how to wash them, and I know how to wash them perfect. I know how I want them to look. However, because I don't have the time to wash them, I take them to a professional, right? So you can actually fix your own credit. But some people don't have the time to do so, so they come to people like myself and other companies that's out there to let them do what they've been passionate and trained to do.
Yeah. Plus, you eloquently stated already that you know a little bit more awareness and information about it and how to maneuver them more. A lot of people that do it themselves, they know to dispute, and that's probably the height and the pinnacle of what they know about. Disputing against the creditors. They don't know about the 1970 Act. They don't know about the other creditors selling it out. They don't know about the other entities.
Exactly.
Because you even have some attorneys that are doing credit repair as well. So I'm sure if the attorney education dynamic comes into play as well. So it's a lot more.
They use terminology.
Right. It's just a lot more than just saying, hey, you can dispute and do your own. It's way more challenging. But I want to speak to the dynamic of you saying becoming from irresponsible to responsible, meaning that the notion or the narrative that it takes money to make money. So if I have money and I want to, like say, cash is king, and I want to work on my credit, so I go and buy with cash, thinking that's going to help my credit. Or those who have no money say, hey, they want to see how you treat their money, and so you want to be able to manage the money properly. And so it's certain skill sets that it's missing from both sides. And I think that's why people who have money fail when they're trying to get credit, and people who have no money never get to the point of having credit because they don't have the proper information to help them be effective in obtaining good credit.
That's right. And you know, one of the only reasons I think a person shouldn't be concerned about, or when a person feels like they can get by without credit, is if you do have a whole lot of money.
Right.
You know, and not a lot of people got a whole lot of money. You best believe most people who have a lot of money aren't working jobs, right? And most people who have degrees don't have a lot of money. It's so, you know, people think, let's go get a degree and we're gonna make all this money. So it's all about, you know, basically finding that right niche to make the money so you can now get credit to leverage, right?
Yeah.
So
people with a lot of money also finding out that they're paying higher interest rates too, because
exactly.
So they want to have credit. So they'll when they get in it and trying to obtain it and sustain it, they wish they would have had great credit in the long run because
exactly. Because I may not have to use credit to get a car, but if I don't have credit and I got a lot of money, guess what? My interest rate gonna be through the roof. Nobody's gonna trust me. Oh, you don't have no history. You don't have no history of handling anybody else's money. You don't have any history of leveraging nobody else's money. And so this is what we're gonna do with you. We want a high interest rate just in case you're not a good person to deal with. We still gonna be okay. That's why people don't know when you get these cars with these high interest rates, you're really just paying the interest when you on the first couple of years of that car. You're not even paying for the car. You know, even when you put these big down payments down, you know, you're just knocking the interest off. So a lot of people don't know those things, which is why it's so important. Like you said, regardless if you got cash or not, you want to get good credit so that you can leverage, you know. And so what I've been doing, since I do have an above average income now and good credit, I use the credit to keep a good credit score because although my income is high, there are certain things I don't want to put a lot of money down for. I'd rather get it with my credit so then I can come right back and leverage by paying it monthly and being on time, leveraging, and then being trusted with more. Because when you're faithful and consistent, companies, people will actually add more credit to that credit line if you really prove to them that you can actually handle that credit the right way.
Yeah, and so that's what's so interesting about having the right information and then doing a comparison on what we've been doing versus doing the effective thing. So what I'm hearing based on what you just said, and now that we have the right information and what has been going on, is that people with money usually don't want to deal with it. So they put the money and forget it. But what you're saying is you have to still be active in restoring and developing credit by paying on time every month. So a lot of people with money, I don't want to deal with that. But you have to have that patience, that discipline to pay stuff on time to help.
That's right.
So you have to be active in your credit development, whether you have money or not. And
exactly.
So I just remember it being life changing for me from going from irresponsible to responsible by managing what I had. And I had to no longer make excuses about what I didn't have. And so when I'll be able to send payments in a month, and what I noticed in my maturity transformation was that when I look back, I had when I was making payments, because before I said, well, I don't have it, I just everything go to my charge off or whatever. I said, well, that ain't gonna help because I got all this stuff charged off. But when I began to take what was on my credit report, and I began to take one item at a time, send payments, and before I know it, it was like, oh, you need $80 more dollars to pay this off. And I paid the $80, and I did that. I started to really organize myself and do that one at a time. Where in the long run, you can make it happen with the money that you do have. So we always think that we need a lot of money to be effective with our finances, but what we need is discipline and being responsible over what we do have. And so that's what really changed it for me, as far as I kept quit complaining about I don't have enough to sustain or meet what my household takes to run. But I started to manage well what I was making, and it became effective because I was paying off little by little what I had until everything was paid off. And so it got me the discipline that I needed to, like I say, move forward in other endeavors to take on bigger and more challenging financial stabilities, and whatever you want to do as far as your finances. But you got to have those skill sets in place to definitely make a difference in your life. And so, what are some of the turning points you suggest for us to turn those things around for those of us who have bad credit, or those of us who want to establish credit? What's some of the turning points or suggestions that you can give to the people?
Well, number one is to really get involved. Like you said, to be active. A lot of people don't even know their credit score. 78 million people, 78 million Americans have a score of 599 or lower. You have 58 billion Americans where $58 billion actually in America that goes up in the air unclaimed because people have policies or don't know where policies are at the time of death. So it's a lot of things that have to do with discipline, like we're talking about. That's the first thing I think a person needs to do. Take responsibility of being disciplined and getting involved with their credit. Second, I'd say, depending on where they are, if they do have collections, do not try to pay collections to get your credit score increased. Collection agencies don't have any power to increase your credit score. They're not governmental entities. So you can pay a collection agency back, but that it will still be on your credit. Number one, because you never even did business with them. It's a third-party activity. Because if you even tell them, hey, it's on my credit report already, stop calling me or you'll hear from my attorney, they'll give you a greater level of respect. But when you don't know these things, they talk to you like you're a fool. They rude. They get rude with you. But your mama ain't got no money, but tell your wife to pay. They say all type of stuff. They hang up on you. And people don't know that that's harassment and that's a lawsuit, right? With collection agencies, even with what you said earlier, they'll take one account and then sell it to the next. Student loan. These companies have been out of business for I don't know how long. And these people are swapping these accounts, trying to make money off these people who are in debt. So the number one thing is to become disciplined and get involved. Check your credit score. I believe you get one for free for the first time in the year. Then the second one, or you can get with a company like mine. We provide you with monitoring. Or your bank. Your banks now give away free monitoring and things of that nature, and just stay in tune. The second thing is, don't get a lot of credit cards. If you are not disciplined, get just enough to build your credit score and stick with a secure credit card if you are just starting out in the very beginning. Get a secure credit card and build with that. I got my first card, which was a secure credit card. I put $350 on it. Stayed under 30%. Within about 6 months, they increased it to $1,000. I got with Navy Federal. Navy Federal gave me two $15,000 credit cards. Later on, they gave me a $25,000 credit card. I'm just trying to right now figure out how to use it to invest, right? So that I could triple my money and then pay them back with the money that I make. So I'm just looking for an investment. I don't use it. I use the amount, the 30%, but I give it back because I do have the cash. I really don't need the credit. So you want to get to that point where you're building that credit history to where you don't really need it. You're just leveraging.
Yeah.
You're
So
just leveraging.
to speak to the aspect of the collection agencies, what do you say, or what advice would you give to the in-house collection agents? You mentioned the collection agency as a third party when they hire one outside, but some other corporations have in-house collections. So how does that work differently?
I would make them mail me whatever it is that they say I owe. I'm not don't discuss anything over the phone. Don't give them any of your information, because after about, I think it's after 15 seconds, they got 15 seconds to try to get you to actually own it. So they get on the phone. Hey, Mr. Solomon, I just want to make sure it's you. So can you verify your date of birth? The minute they start asking you that, you already know they're trying to get you to own the account, simply because it could be disputed, right? So they try to get you to, hey, this is Marlon Hester. I'm on this is calling with a personal business matter, and this call is recorded. Right there, you have a right to not speak and say anything.
Yeah.
So you just tell them, hey, send it to me in the mail. Yeah. That's how you get off that call.
Yeah.
And now they're obligated to prove that they have the actual, details. If they don't, dispute it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some of them, when they can present it, like if it's say like a medical bill that you owe, and they say, okay, we'll mail it to you. They send you your mail. Okay, Tylenol, $75. The bed, $7,000.
Yeah.
You might be stuck with that one there and have to go ahead and pay that. You know what I mean? Get on the payment plan, and then they'll even update it as paid to where it's not negative on your credit. Because so there are different ways to deal with collector agencies, like you said, when they're in-house versus those who are out-house. Because those third party, you don't have to talk to them.
So also speak briefly about another issue that plagued our community as well as others. I don't want to leave nobody out, but particularly us. Student loans. You said that a lot of them companies been out of business, or the bill they're trying to get you to pay have been out of business. A lot of educational institutions, they have gone out of business, and they try to hold. So and also that a lot of them although they use the U.S. government education name, a lot of them are private too.
Exactly.
So, okay, and so the trick is people is still thinking they're government, and it's like so explain that, because that's kind of tricky as well too, because you got a lot of stuff going on with that. And of course, student loans plague a lot of us as far as finances, and they put it on your credit.
Now, of course, that's a whole nother conference about how that whole student loan thing works. That is a big scam in America. But the way you really find out, like you said, you got the private ones and you got the government. You got, we call them federal, right? So a lot of them swap around until they end up in a private company. But because people are intimidated by what they owe, they never even try to find out who is it that they owe. Make phone calls. It might be a private company. Catch this. Private student loans and federal student loans can be disputed, but there are two different things that happens. Student loans that are from a government entity or a federal, it can come off the credit, but it's still in the system because it's federal. Now, if you decide that you're going to go back to school, then they may bring it back up. Hey, we want you to pay this first, or we're going to add this on.
You're bringing you out of default.
Exactly. Now, the private school student loans, when you dispute them and argue them, they can come off your credit and be removed completely out of the system to where you don't even owe it. Yeah. I just put up a testimony of a young lady. I couldn't put her name and stuff, but she was a client of mine, and she was just telling me how grateful she was of being a part of our protection plan membership. And she had a ton of student loans, but when we disputed them, they just closed them. Yeah. They didn't even fight, and then they recorded them as bad debt. Why did you remove this? Because it was bad debt. Yeah. So her score shot up almost to 800 just from fighting those student loans. You gotta have fight in you though, and it isn't the emotional type of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's very emotional.
They use the U.S. government as an intimidation factor, but they put in your credit, and it's like, how could you beat the U.S. government? And so I don't know where to begin. but it's so true, and it's the wonderful information that needs to be out there and told to people because it's happening a lot to a lot of people. And so, name some of the services you guys provide at Pioneer.
What's wonderful is that when you talked about, the intimidation factor, I'll start with this one. One of our services we could give you is a credit attorney. And that's a part of our protection plan for those hard to remove items where they won't remove them. Maybe it's student loans that should have been removed. Maybe a bankruptcy settlement that should have been removed. You paid it off and it's still there after 7 years. Guess what? We need to dispute that. That's why I tell people, do not run the bankruptcy. So we give you protection plan, right? Which is credit restoration, where our company is going to do a full analysis on your credit report and dispute all the negative items. We're talking erroneous, obsolete, medical, collections, tax liens, student loans, child support. We've had some situations where brothers, they were done with the child support and it was still there. When we disputed it, we got it removed. This system will make money any way they can. Child support, so we got credit restoration, credit builder, teach you what to put on your credit to increase your score, credit monitoring, because once your score goes up, you start being the target. Not to mention our credit bureaus, Experian, Equifax, TransUnion, have had major data breaches, multiple, right, where our information has been compromised, right? So you have credit monitoring. Then we're going to give you identity theft protection, because once that score goes up, you're a target. So we want to protect you from losing that good credit score after you do all that work. You know what I mean? You want to keep that score up. Then we have some life services that we believe goes with finances, like a will, life trust, power of attorney, financial lockbox. We're going to give you a debt payoff system, also a budgeting tool, because there are some things you might want to pay off in a certain amount of time that you are paying on. You just need a strategy. And goals will not be met until you start setting goals. And that's one of our biggest problems. We don't set goals when it comes to our finances. Then we also have a net worth system. Solomon, we talk about what Jay-Z's worth. We get in the barbershop, we talk about what Michael Jordan's worth. It's time for us to be able to know what we're worth. So we have grandchildren, great-grandchildren, they can be told, hey, your granddaddy was worth $1 million. Your granddaddy was worth 1.5 million. Whatever it is, according to our assets and liabilities and things like that. When I love our system, you can do it all from the comfort of your own home. No attorney has to come out. No lawyer has to come out. There's no retaining fee for the attorney. $89 a month, and they get all of these services, to take care of their families.
And you really speaking to transferring wealth to the next generation as well as when you get this together, So definitely, I want to speak to that, as well as I want to be transparent about credit, because I really believe that what you're doing, and you don't know this, I'm telling you this now, you're not the first credit repair person I reached out to. And
wow.
What made me decide, because I had my own experience with credit repair. Some people say, well, I had a negative experience, I had a good experience. And I really believe it's turning around on how people look at credit repair, because you want to see the difference between you doing it yourself, because people will always give people advice. Well, I don't believe it, I don't trust those. Well, I did it myself. But they don't really know the difference between what you can do versus what you're doing at home, especially when you have a lot of complicated items on your credit. But I want to speak very transparently, and I want you to speak and answer this really honestly. Why Pioneer Credit? Because there's a lot of shyster credit repair places out there. A lot of people just want to take your money and they don't do anything. Stuff be still on there. So please speak to the people, and they're going to be responding. Why should they reach out to Pioneer Credit? And the groundbreaking, the faithful, the God, everything that comes with you, why the integrity that Pioneer comes with, why they should reach out to Pioneer Credit.
Well, the first thing is, number one, we're going to give you a portal that you can understand. Watch out for these companies that give you that portal, and when you get back there, it's percentages and pies and financial readings that you probably never understood. We're going to give you a portal that you understand that makes very clear sense to you, where you can see everything that's happening. Number two, we're going to dispute all negative items at the same time, Solomon. We're not going to do one and two here,
All
doing one
three.
and two
All
there,
three.
on all three viewers at the same time. All right? Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, if you have negative items anywhere with them, we're going to dispute them all at the same time. Okay? We're all three credit bureaus. So when our letters come to you already fashioned up, you're going to have all three letters with the address ready to go to them. You just sign them and then mail them out. Now, the other thing is our company not only is going to give you credit restoration, but we give you those 13 services with the protection plan membership. All right. Of course, we have customer service and all of that stuff as well. One of the most benefiting things is our minimum is 45 to 90 days. But guess what? We've seen people get results within 25 days, 12 days. My own personal testimony, I was with Lexington Law, and for $120 a month, I only got one service, and they barely helped me because they was doing 2 items a month. They wasn't telling us this. Not only that, but they were forging a computerized signature on their letters instead of sending them to me and let me sign it myself. The creditors look at that as third party. So guess what they do? Ignore it. So it turns into a long process, which is why we send it directly to you so you can put an organic signature. They'll know this is the person really disputing their own negative items. And then the last thing is we don't have a contract. When you're satisfied or when you want out, you could just call and say, hey, thank you so much. I'm satisfied. I appreciate your hard work. I'm ready to take things to the next level. Now, what we would probably do is encourage you to keep it, because you have now 12 other services that could protect your family, finances, and your future for a very affordable price. I mean, if you're going to do a will, it's $500 just to get that lawyer to come and sit with you just to write stuff up. Then if he's going to change some stuff, it's another $500, right? We're going to put all that in one protection plan membership. And no other company, and what we train our partners to do is not to talk negative about other companies, but I can tell you no other company is offering these many services at the affordable price and still getting results like we are.
Wow. So
you know how many protection plan memberships we did during the pandemic, during the coronavirus? 150,000 new members during the pandemic. So of course people are waking up, but we're available as well to make sure that they're satisfied.
No, I definitely, I sense a turning point in it, and because, but the integrity got to be there, and I think
it has to be.
That was the missing component. And I really, when I connected with you, I called you a couple of times, and I say I want to promote the right credit repair people, and definitely someone who can have integrity to where they're going to treat people right and they're going to get results.
I'll even add this, Solomon. A lot of people used to say, well, Marlon, I went to you all's review page and the reviews were low and the Better Business Bureau took away your accreditation. Guess what? The way the Better Business Bureau works is that you really don't have a grade unless you're just starting out.
Right.
Once you get into out of that bracket, a lot of people, this reviews.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they look at those negative reviews. And a lot of our reviews are from negative experiences that people had with some of our agents, not necessarily with our results. Yeah. And so it's crazy.
So please tell them how they can get in touch with you. Tell them how they can get involved. Please let them know your handles and everything.
Thank you so much, Solomon. This is a great opportunity. If you're looking forward to getting started with credit restoration, you can reach me at Credit Pioneer on Instagram. You can also reach out through text if you want to, 630-576-0040. But I'm on Instagram most of the time. You can shoot me a DM. I have some offers that are going on right now, actually, for those who are looking to get their credit restored. Our startup fee is $188, but anybody that comes from you, I'll have something amazing for them. They just got to tell me that they came from you.
So definitely reach out, mention King Solomon, get the discount, get the special packaging that he's offering right now. Please, thank you so much, and keep doing what you're doing. I'm telling you, it's just a breakthrough and a turnaround in credit and the essentialness of credit and credit restoration with the integrity that comes with your company. Please share this video, like, subscribe on all social media with King Solomon Entertainment Company on YouTube, James Claiborne. Please subscribe, comment, share. Thank you so much for being here. Definitely a friend to the show. We got to have you back. Dr. Marlon Hester, Credit Pioneer, Pioneer Credit. Thank you so much, man of God. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Solomon. Glad to be here.
All right, brother.
Appreciate you, man. All right.
All right.